What's up, everybody? It's your girl Bree Flemings. I'm the founder of Jem Social. I'm also a real estate investor, and I'm also building two other apps currently while managing work, building this app, which is Jem Social, and then the other two apps. But I wanted to make this video today because something that people have constantly asked me is, how did I ever build an app? And I have two answers. The fact of the matter is, when Jem Social came out, Lovable, Replit, Cursor, Base 66, all of these new tools were not out. So I actually used a tool called FlutterFlow. I haven't been on it in a while, to be honest, so I can't give my update as of 2026. But FlutterFlow back then, don't know what it is now because I haven't really looked into it because I don't use it anymore, was a no-code platform, or no-code / low-code platform. They were in competition with Bubble, if that helps. We use a platform like that because I was able to develop like 80% of it, and then once we got to the areas that did require customizations out of the box from what Lovable had, I need to hire somebody. So I ended up spending about $800 on a developer to finish out the rest of those customizations, leveraging the Flutter code. And we use Firebase as our backend. If I had to start over today, which I am because I'm building two other apps additionally, and for why? One, because I want to actually record my journey building these other two apps so you guys can see that it's possible. I typically don't do the behind the scenes stuff. I'm personally learning how to not be as awkward with content. As you can see, I'm looking down, looking up, but the point is, I want you guys to see what's possible. FlutterFlow. Now I am using Lovable. And even using Lovable, I'm seeing, okay, what can I do with Lovable and what can't I do? So for example, I'm going to scroll down to one of my later projects, which is going to be called, is one of the projects that's going to be under the Jem Social brand. And transparently, I ended up building this because I share the same frustration. It's going to be a platform that allows regular people like myself that creates content to upload a clip up to 90 seconds and then put an inspiration link. And then the output of that will be the clip clipped up in the similar fashion that your inspiration link was handed. The MVP, it should just focus on like cuts, transition, B-rolls, etc., or at least B-roll moments. But as it matures, I can eventually see this happening for short and long form content. The fact of the matter is, I can build out maybe some features of Dupe on here. Can't build all of it currently until Lovable gets up to speed with their API, connectors, their backend. So there's a lot more that has to happen, which I may have to use another platform for. But going back, there is another platform that we're building called Chatter. And Chatter is a platform that will allow people to actually, they'll be able to onboard, attach their business account on Instagram and Threads. And this is a signal-based tool. So that way we are looking for signals that indicate that, hey, this person is talking about getting coffee. Maybe you're a coffee shop. Now you're engaging with that person. Maybe you're liking their post. Maybe you're commenting. Maybe it's you watching their stories. We're finding different ways that you can engage with your customers without being so direct and just messaging them saying, hey, come check out our coffee shop, right? But actually showing some level of engagement and care to those customers. So imagine if like 50 to 100 of those actions were taken per day, then that is 300 to 500 actions a week going towards your actual target audience. The problem with some of these tools right now is that they are not intentional enough, right? The tools to grow your social media, they just might be using bots, or they might just be engaging with random people, but they're not as intentional as they need to be. You'll be able to dial in on if you want to engage with people in your city. So I'm in Houston. Maybe if it's a coffee shop that wants to sign up and they also are looking for Houston creators that are looking for coffee shops, cool. We have a co-working space that we currently service right now. We would onboard them because we want another tool to also be engaging with, the ideal customers. And that's actually how I came up with this idea anyway. So I plan on building this out entirely through Lovable because it's only going to require a few APIs that we actually already have to. Of course, we'll need Threads API, which you'll be able to add into Lovable. Instagram's API. We'll probably need some kind of scraper as well that we can use from the Rapid API marketplace or other marketplaces that we could explore as well that have APIs stored on there. But essentially, once we have all the APIs we needed, we can really build this out to perfection. Using Claude, this is, as you can see, I can make some small changes, like this is invisible, so I can literally put in the see how it works button is not currently visible when the user lands onto the homepage. And before you submit a prompt, add as much as possible into the prompt, right? Like I just put this quickly, but if there's other issues that you already can spot, right, then make sure you add that in, because like bottom area as well, in the bottom section, the copy is not readable and the background color makes the copy look transparent. So as you can see, I just take a quick look to see what does or doesn't look right. We'll be perfecting this home page, right? You know, I might add more design to it. I can use Claude for that, and I could show you guys what I would do on Claude on the next video. Claude, you know, to design how I want this homepage to look, because ideally design wise this is not what I'm looking for. And another thing I want to talk about in another session is, you know, should you use Lovable for marketing pages, or should you use another tool like Webflow? I'm actually still kind of doing research around that, so I'll come back with my findings as well. But for now, for the sake of it, just to make sure that even if we do make a design, we want to make sure that the bones is good. And right now the bones aren't even good, so I can sure that this is fine for the home page. But as you can see, if you've never walked through Lovable before, you can easily, you know, prompt it to tell it what to do, how that looks. So it's to execute, and you could take a finish the last time, and then I'll be back when it's done. How I want it to work. So that's good. Matters, I'm not worried about this right now. Right now, would be stored here. So as you can see, have dummy data here, demo data, like, you know, what's been done. This is what you're able to do for your business that's being posted. Not necessarily is helping. While we'll do that in a separate to building this new tool I'm at in the next phase of my projects off with Chatter, because like I said, I might have to take it onto another tool, but we'll just have to make sure that we connect the API. So I will bring that into the next tutorial, and we'll go from there. To you is, what are you going to take it? Please let me know. I would love to communicate with you guys. You can follow me on Instagram, Bree Flemings. I'll put it in my bio. I'd love to connect with y'all and see what you got, my vibe coding community. So connect, and I'll talk to y'all soon.